just a week after mass assaults against women by a group of Arab and North African men in the German city of Cologne, the authorities are cracking down on hate speech against migrants. Germany has reached a deal with social media giants to remove any offensive comments deemed to be targeting asylum seekers. Twitter, Facebook and Google have pledged to abide by German domestic laws when reviewing posts. Online, the move has already been condemned as censorship. Some saying Angela Merkel is taking Germany down the North Korean path of dealing with dissent. And one user thinks such political correctness undermines the freedom of opinion. In the meantime, more women are now coming forward in Cologne saying they were attacked. The number of criminal complaints has now risen to over 120, while 2 of the suspects have now been identified as that of Moroccan citizens. RT's Harry Fear now gauging the mood in Cologne a week after the assaults.
Well, I'm here in the main station, the epicenter of some of that unrest and chaos at New Year's, to find out how the residents of Cologne feel a week on.
I don't feel secure right now. I would be very reluctant to let my girlfriend walk here alone, because I'm afraid that she could be molested or robbed by those groups.
Do you feel safe here at night?
No, not really. For the same reasons.
How do you feel about security here in Cologne a week afterwards?
I felt very troubled after I heard what happened.
I am on full alert when I see young, dark-skinned men. To avoid them when I walk, I circle around them on a long deviation.
They're confused because they don't know what real Africans is, and we have the trouble also. Because when we walk here, we walk and the people look at us like we are the people who did this, you know, and it's not like this.
Do you think that the criminals will face justice?
Oh, I do not think so, because they will be away forever. I don't think that the police will catch them.
Well, the week has been punctuated by a number of controversies. We know that there have only been a handful of arrests of 1,000 suspects, and that there is a grand total of 10 police officers assigned to investigate the unrest. Well, we'll see next month at the carnival, which will last 5 days with street parties in these parts, how the German police managed to protect the German public. But certainly there is anxiety ahead of those events. Reporting for RT in Cologne, I'm Harry Fear.
Angela Merkel described what happened in Cologne as repugnant and intolerable criminal acts. And she thinks it may not be an isolated case.
Natürlich ergeben sich aus dem, was da passiert ist, einige sehr ernsthafte Fragen, die über Köln hinausgehen. Es gibt Fragen danach, gibt es Verbindungen, gibt es gemeinsame Verhaltensmuster? Gibt es in Teilen von Gruppen auch so etwas wie Frauenverachtung? Und wir müssen dem mit aller Entschiedenheit entgegentreten, denn ich glaube nicht, dass es nur Einzelfälle sind.
Merkel also said that other EU members should share responsibility for the migrants. Last year, Germany alone took in over 1 million of them. Stephen Wolfe from Britain's Eurosceptic UKIP party thinks Germany is now dealing with the consequences of a gravely mistaken policy.
I'm afraid this will lead to a permanent change in the way that Europe actually acts within its own nations, because we've seen this here in the United Kingdom, where we had problems in Rotherham because people were afraid of actually talking about immigration. They were afraid of talking about race relations in relation to crimes committed by people who'd come from abroad. You see it in Sweden, where there is a clampdown on the press from reporting on rapes by those who have come to Sweden against those who were born and lived in Sweden. And Germany is now facing the same consequence about this. And this all is driven from Angela Merkel's monumental mistake in having an open-door immigration policy for anyone who is an asylum seeker and anyone who is an economic migrant. And so Germany now will have to come to terms with the fact that their country will change as a consequence.
Well, despite Germany calling for solidarity when it comes to dealing with migrants, many EU countries are unwilling to share the brunt. And some accuse Germany and Angela Merkel of simply worsening the crisis.
I don't doubt Germany's right to define its moral obligations for itself. They can decide if they accept every refugee or not, but that should only be compulsory for them. The problem is not European, it's German.
Mrs. Merkel called them, and now she's pulled the handbrake by saying Germany cannot absorb all these economic migrants. She makes out as if she wasn't aware that pulling the handbrake when so many cars were on the road would cause chaos.
The current biggest problem facing the solving of migration is an inconsistent policy from Germany.